Let's get started with the NFL training camps and specifically the Dallas Cowboys, where the stare down continues between the team and wide receiver CeeDee Lamb. Lamb's holdout has entered its third week, but work remains to get a deal done that would make him among the highest paid receivers in the National Football League, okay? But if you know Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, like I do, 3 weeks is nothing for him. Jones and the Cowboys did the same thing 31 years ago to Hall of Fame running back Emmit Smith. Smith missed the entire training camp and the first 2 games of the season before both sides ultimately reached an agreement. And that happened after Smith won a Super Bowl, for crying out loud. That's for CeeDee Lamb. Here's what Jerry Jones said last weekend about his star wide receiver at the time. Take a look at this, please. Quote, I understand completely the angst that's happening when you're anxious about something and someone says anything about whether you're missed or not. Well, CeeDee, you're missed, okay? But you're not missed out here competing, and it doesn't put any pressure, any place on us. You see, to me, here's the story that's missing. The story is Jerry Jones. The story has become Jerry Jones for all the wrong reasons. At some point in time, we got to ask the question, why the hell is this treatment being accorded to CeeDee Lamb? If it were Tony Romo, it wouldn't have happened. If it was a plethora of other players, it wouldn't have happened. Why is it guys like CeeDee Lamb? Why is it guys like Ezekiel Elliott back from years ago? Why is it a Dak Prescott? Why is it guys like that? Why? Now, I'm not going to answer that question because I'm not going to act all definitive in terms of thinking I know the answer to that question. But I'll acknowledge this. It's suspicious. I'll acknowledge that it seems a bit off kilter, to say the least. I'm just going to say it plain. The fact of the matter is that Jerry Jones has a history of doing this. And I brought up the Emmit Smith thing because I remember the 1993 season. I remember how they had won the Super Bowl in 1992. I remember that Emmit Smith had established himself as one of, if not the elite rusher in all of football. And I remember how the Dallas Cowboys had won a Super Bowl, and then coming off that Super Bowl, with him do a contract extension, he had to end up holding out. Jerry Jones wouldn't pay him. And then after he wouldn't pay him, they lost games 1 and 2. I believe it was to the Washington, then called the Redskins at the time, and the Buffalo Bills in back-to-back games. And Jimmy Johnson, then the head coach, just came out in the press conference, post-game press conference, and just threw his hands up. And then said, well, just threw his hands up like, I need my damn running back. That's what I need. And then Jerry Jones signed Emmit Smith to the largest contract for a running back in the history of the sport at that particular time. If I recall, it was about $13 million. And I remember seeing this look on Emmit Smith's face during the press conference. I had never seen anybody in my life who had just gotten a record deal look so pissed. But that was Emmit Smith. You know why he was doing that? He was like, why me? What the hell are you thinking? I spoke to him about this years later when I interviewed him. I'm that dude. I'm an elite running back. We delivered the goods. We're Super Bowl champions. We're trying to defend our crown. And here you are with this BS choosing me as the person to play hardball with. That's what Emmit Smith was saying at that particular moment in time. Let's fast forward now to this particular day and age. Now, let's be very, very clear. There is nobody on the Dallas Cowboys that has any business being mentioned in the same breath as Emmit Smith. He's a champion, and he was a champion. The Dallas Cowboys haven't been to the conference finals since 1995. That's 28 plus years. They're entering their 29th year, not even having gone to a conference championship game. I have no doubt that there are people out there who are cynics of a CeeDee Lamb, cynics of a Dak Prescott, cynics of a Micah Parsons, all of whom are due to get their bag. I have no doubt that there are critics out there saying, what the hell have you accomplished? Especially when it comes to Dak Prescott. 8 years in the league, only 2 playoff victories. Especially when it comes to Dak Prescott. I get that. Well, why don't you play hardball with him? I'm a proponent of that. Play hardball with Dak Prescott. He the one that get it done. I can't say that about CeeDee Lamb. Market value at the moment, 4 years, $136.1 million. $34 million average annual salary. That's what his market value is at this particular moment in time. I got the notes right in front of me. Without him, who do you have to rely upon if you're the Dallas Cowboys? You got Brandon Cooks, who's a perennial number 2 or number 3 seed receiver in the National Football League. By the way, the only other people that make no noise for the Dallas Cowboys, the only reason why the Dallas Cowboys receiving corps outside of Brandon Cooks will make any noise is because 3 of them are named Jalen. Jalen Tolbert, Jalen Brooks, Jalen Moreno, Cropper. Cropper hasn't caught a pass, hasn't yet played in the NFL. Jalen Brooks had 6 catches as a rookie last year, and Tolbert had 24 catches over the last 2 seasons. What are we talking about? Jerry Jones acting like it ain't no big deal. I mean, what the hell is this? And then you got a situation. I'm looking at some of these numbers. Last season, Lamb shattered Michael Irvin's franchise single-season records with 135 catches, 1,749 yards. Played the extra 17th game because back when Michael Irvin was playing, it was a 16-game season. But he beat Irvin's marks by 24 catches and 146 yards. 135 catches last season, 16 more than any other NFL player. Let's pay attention to this now. Played in 66 of a possible 67 regular season games over his 4-year career. He's only missed 1 game. So durability is not a question mark with him. 3-time Pro Bowl selection. Named first-team All-Pro for the first time last season. 19 catches for 227 yards over his last two playoff games. In terms of his ranks over the last 2 seasons, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about this. CeeDee Lamb ranks number 1 in receptions, 242. Number 2 in receiving yards behind only Tyreek Hill with 3,108 yards. Number 2 behind only Devontae Adams with 21 touchdown catches. And then to add an elevated level of concern to everything, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? The Dallas Cowboys have 9 games this upcoming season against last year playoff teams. 2023 playoff teams. Tied for second most such games in the National Football League. 9 games against playoff teams. And 5 of the top 10 scoring defenses from last season. There's no excuse to be doing this to CeeDee Lamb. And the fact that Jerry Jones is doing it, I'm not going to troll Cowboy fans today as much as I love to. As much as I consider y'all the most disgusting, nauseating fan base in American history because y'all get on my damn nerves because y'all can sit up there and go 1-16 and then 15 minutes after the season's over, we're going to win the Super Bowl next year, right? We're going to do the Super Bowl, right? Can't stand y'all. Rats, roaches, and a Cowboy fan. That's what will survive a nuclear bomb. Yeah, I said it, and I mean it. But that's a subject for another day. Because I love trolling y'all, but it's a lot of fun. Take pictures with y'all. Love going to Dallas, seeing y'all. It's all in fun. This is serious. I don't appreciate this brother CeeDee Lamb being treated like this. I want to know why you're doing that. You see, I remember when Dak Prescott performed as a rookie and Jerry Jones' religious hesitancy in naming him the starting quarterback when Tony Romo clearly was not healthy, clearly was contemplating stepping away from the game. He just didn't have it. And Jerry Jones held on to him for dear life. Didn't want to give that job to Dak Prescott because Tony Romo was like a son to him. Even though Tony Romo didn't win but 1 or 2 playoff games either. Then when Dak Prescott was due to get his money, Jerry Jones held out as much as he possibly could to prevent him from getting his money. I remember that too. So then we go from there. And now we fast forward to here with CeeDee Lamb, the wide receiver. Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, and CeeDee Lamb, along with Devontae Adams, are pretty much considered the best 4 receivers in the National Football League. If I left out anybody because I got brain lock, I apologize. But I believe they're the 4 best receivers in the National Football League. It ain't CeeDee Lamb's fault that the Dallas Cowboys can't win a damn playoff game. Why are you doing this to him? At some point in time, can we have a conversation about the legacy of a Jerry Jones? Can we have that conversation? Can we look at Jerry Jones and say, yo, what's up, man? You're 81, 82 years old. You've told us you're staring mortality dead in the face. You've told us you ain't what you used to be, as none of us are. You said all of this. What you messing around for? Could it be, Jerry Jones, that your definition of winning isn't what most people's definition of winning in the National Football League is these days? Could it be, Jerry Jones, that when Sportico revealed that the Dallas Cowboys franchise is worth over $10 billion, when the average NFL franchise is worth $5 billion, could it be that's your definition of winning? Could it be the fact that during training camp and during OTAs, that your definition of winning is that the Dallas Cowboys were in the news and were making back pages? Could it be that that is your definition of winning? See, we got to start asking these questions. We got to start asking these questions because there's simply no excuse for Jerry Jones to take the positions that he has taken doing this nonsense. It ain't right. And I'm just looking at it right now. Justin Jefferson's gotten paid. Tyreek Hill's gotten paid. Jalen Waddle has gotten paid. I mean, there's a bunch of brothers. A.J. Brown for the Eagles, he got paid. He's one of those top receivers, too. Let me not leave him out. Everywhere you turn, you got receivers, teams moving ahead and saying, yo, this person's worth this. This is what they bring to the table. It's not right. And so the Dallas Cowboys are going to sit here. Your offensive line ain't what it used to be. Ezekiel Elliott is what you view as a star running back at this moment in time. Brandon Cooks is your number one wide receiver with 4 no-names backing him up as a third wide receiver and beyond. What are you giving Dak Prescott to work with? What are you giving him? Defensively, you got a new defensive coordinator, Mike Zimmer, replacing Dan Quinn. You're switching your defense to a 4-3 because going too small and relying upon speed had y'all ran roughshod all over the damn place. How does this equate to winning? There's no way that an owner, a president, a GM, all three of which happens to be Jerry Jones, can deduce that this leads to winning. Especially with the Philadelphia Eagles, with Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown and Goddard, and now Saquon Barkley coming out of the backfield with Jalen Hurts as your quarterback. There's no way in hell that you could think this equates to winning in the NFC East with what the Eagles did for themselves. There's no way you can equate that this is going to be beneficial when the Detroit Lions were just in the NFC Championship game. When Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers smacked y'all around and was up 48-16 in a playoff game before pulling off the Wolves, calling off the Dogs, ramrodding you on your own home turf in the playoffs. There's no way that you can deduce that this is an ingredient for winning when the San Francisco 49ers are still salivating for a chance to win a championship after they just blew another Super Bowl. Brock Purdy's still there. Christian McCaffrey's still there. Deebo Samuel's still there. George Kittle's still there. Brandon Ayuk and damn well better stay there, even though I hope my Steelers get him. There's no way. There's no way. You, Jerry Jones, all you're staring at is another season where y'all ain't going to do shit but tease everybody into thinking that you might be relevant. And then ultimately you get to the playoffs and you can't get it done. Now, I don't know what to say about that. I really, really don't. But I know that Mike McCarthy is on the hot seat because if he doesn't win this year in the final year of his deal, chances of him getting renewed might not look good. They should have grabbed Bill Belichick. I said that before. I'll say it again. Because Bill Belichick don't give a damn about the media. He just cares about football. Jerry Jones wants to be in front of the media's face all day, every day. So let Jerry Jones talk his talk. You coach your coaching. And it would have been fine. It would have been a match made in heaven. But Jerry Jones didn't want to let go of Mike McCarthy. Jerry Jones didn't want a coach that could look him in the face and say, go sit your ass down. I got this. I'm a 6-time Super Bowl champion as a head coach. a two-time champion as a defensive coordinator. I don't need your input. Fall back. Jerry Jones didn't want to deal with that, some would say. And so we have a situation right now where Jerry Jones is flexing because he doesn't want to play. He doesn't want to pay somebody who clearly deserves to be paid. It's CeeDee Lamb. By the way, Micah Parsons deserves to be paid too. If I'm going to hesitate about anybody, it's about Dak Prescott. Why? Because I've seen Dak Prescott fidgety in clutch moments in the postseason. That's why. And this brother's looking for over $60 million, guaranteed, per. I don't know if I'm doing that for Dak Prescott. I do know that CeeDee Lamb is worth $34 to $35 million. I do know that Micah Parsons, 13 sacks minimum per season in his first 3 years. Only one other NFL player ever did that in NFL history, and that's the late, great Reggie White, God rest his soul. Oh, yeah, I'm paying that, brother. It's Dak Prescott that's the question mark to me. Let's just call it what it is. Either way you slice it, it's not a good thing to see. It's not a good thing to look at. And I'm just looking at them right now, and I got to tell you, Dallas Cowboys in trouble because of this nonsense by Jerry Jones. Normally, I would be happy about this. If this was November, December, I would be happy about this. I don't like it this way in August. I want the Dallas Cowboys to tease fans and then plummet. I don't want us knowing they're going to suck from the very beginning. And you got the players talking about, well, yo, CeeDee Lamb going to be here. He going to be here. This is a business. We know he's going to be here, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? Yo, Jerry Jones, when the player's going to say to you, why don't you start acting this way? If you got a brother that's producing, why is he the one you got to play hardball with? Why don't you play hardball with somebody else? I'm just saying.